Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us for this webinar on the topic of how to win new business when you're a small law firm. My name is Brid Heffernan, and I'm the National Sales Manager in Leap Legal Software. I've organised this webinar today to cover a topic that's very close to my heart, how to win new business when you're a small law firm. I've gathered a panel of contributors who inspire me and I believe have a lot of value to offer you. In this presentation, you will learn what are the different effective means of business development in small law firms, how to increase retention as well as new business, how a modern online presence and marketing strategy can increase your client base, and how to track your business development efforts. Feel free to type any questions you have into the GoToWebinar question feature, which you should see on the side of your screen throughout today's webinar. Although we may not be able to respond to your individual question while we're presenting, we will collate all the questions in a frequently asked questions document, which will be sent out to you with a recording of the webinar, and we will aim to answer some questions at the end of this session. Here today, we have Jake Frickberg from Leap. Jake is a product consultant who works with law firms daily to understand how they manage their internal processes with the view to helping firms like you increase productivity and ultimately profitability by incorporating Leap Legal Software. We have Alice Edwards, onboarding coach at Zaliot. Zaliot is the world's leader in providing custom-built websites for law firms. We are joined by Seamus Byrne of LawTap. LawTap is Australia's most popular lawyer booking engine. And our fourth panelist is Anna Wareham, sales manager in Perfect Portal, which is a popular international quote management tool. Firstly, Leap recently ran a survey for lawyers who have started a small law firm over the past 3 years. Many of you would have received this survey from us, so you know what I'm referring to. And our findings highlight that many law firms have deprioritized investment into marketing in the early days. Yet it was also the area that they wish they knew more about before they'd started their firm. The results also showed that the biggest challenge faced by startup law firms are marketing, business development, and actually finding clients. 83% of our responders had not considered how to market their firm at all before starting out, and 25% wished that they had known more about marketing and business development. So Jake, you meet firms on a day-to-day basis. In your experience, what are the realities of business development in small law firms, and how are your firms overcoming this?
Thanks, Brid. Now, we know from visiting law firms on a daily basis that lawyers, or most lawyers, are not salespeople, and they're also not IT people. Now, our clients do legal work very well, and by and large, they feel that if they do their job well and provide good legal advice, then that's going to be enough to run a successful law firm. But as they quickly realize, unfortunately, it's not. In our 10-step guide to starting a law firm, business development and marketing are essential steps that we cover. So if you are thinking about starting a firm and you haven't downloaded it yet, I would suggest you do so immediately. Also, universities and legal training institutions teach law and some practice management, but they don't teach business development. As a result, we have lawyers who start practicing without a basic understanding of exactly what is required to run a successful business in today's modern legal landscape. Now, we refer a lot to a book called Business Development: How to Win Profitable Customers and Clients, written by Dr. Ian Cooper. Here, Dr. Cooper writes about the 3 business development priorities. These are, firstly, convert existing leads, opportunities, and inquiries into profitable business. Priority number 2 is to develop more business from existing customers and clients. And priority 3 focuses on externalized business development efforts to generate new leads, opportunities, and inquiries. Firstly, let's take a look at how to convert leads, opportunities, and inquiries into profitable business. You see, if your external business development initiatives are successful, they're not going to produce business all on their own. They're only going to bring in more leads and more inquiries, but those leads need to be converted, and that is a different process altogether. In law firms, we see leads come in the forms of walk-ins, phone calls, and even web traffic. So we always advise our clients that they need to train themselves and their staff, particularly receptionists and those in client-facing roles, to see all of these sources of leads as revenue. This is so crucial. Too often inquiries are seen as just another administrative job or even as a nuisance. Now, in his book, Dr. Cooper rightly says that because many businesses haven't made the processing of leads a priority, by investing in analysis, tracking, developing a proper structure, and appropriate staff training, as a result, a percentage of these leads fail to become business at all. Putting it another way, many of these business opportunities are simply leaking away through a small or even big hole in the bottom of the inquiries bucket. Now, with regards to the second priority, developing more business from existing clients, the most successful firms I am seeing have a clear process for following up with a client a while after a matter has been finalised. Now, I'm sure that Anna will talk about this in more detail later on. These firms will give a quick call to check in and make sure that the client is still happy with their matter. Now, importantly, this builds rapport and also makes the client think that you care about them for more than just your invoice. You will be amazed at how many more issues the client may have going on since they finished that matter with you. Now, it's also an opportunity for you to tell your client about any additional services that you offer. We know that conveyancing and wills go hand in hand, so why don't you offer a bundled will with a purchase that you just finalised for a client? Or possibly preparing a financial agreement to a client that you recently settled their divorce. Now, if you are already a Leap user, it is imperative that you set a task in your electronic matter. And a really good practice to get into is adding a task, for example, business development follow-up call, into your task templates in Leap. Now, these tasks can be triggered by entering in your completion date so that you can set up automatic reminders to follow up with your clients after their matter has been finalised. Also, if you've just finished a matter that took a lot of research or potentially has made you a bit of a subject matter expert, our savviest clients are doing things like networking, even hosting events, and sitting on boards. This is particularly valuable in niche areas of law or even in remote or regional areas as well. If, for example, you have been working in wills and probate, why don't you set up an event for the local agricultural industry workers to come and learn about considerations in estate planning for farmers? I mean, you've already done the work anyway, so you may as well try and capitalize on it. There is also an article in the Leap blog called How to Win New Business When You Are a Small Law Firm, and this discusses the importance of networking and referrals. Now, the third priority focuses on how to externalize business development efforts to generate new leads, opportunities, and inquiries. Personally, I find a lot of our clients are having success with Xaliate, LawTap, and Perfect Portal, so I am sure that they will be able to explain this better than me. I might hand back over to Brid.
Thanks, Jake. I agree with what you said about capitalizing on the work you've already done. It's relatively easy to write an article in an area you're particularly interested in or something that you just had to pick up recently and took you a lot of time. So you should publish that article on LinkedIn, send it as a newsletter. We have mailings in Leap for our Leap client, or potentially hold an event to really capitalize on that work you've done in that area of law that you're trying to get more business in. Activities like that will elevate you to a trusted advisor in a client's eyes. It's really good for your reputation as a practitioner as well. Research shows that 81% of consumers conduct online research before purchasing a product, and we find that that statistic is even higher for buyers of legal services. This is also covered in the Leap blog. So Alice, you are from Xaliate. Maybe you can tell us a bit more about the importance of having a good online presence.
Sure, thanks, Brid. So the question of today's webinar is, how do we generate new business for small law firms? And the answer really is having an online presence and making sure that that is a priority in your daily to-do list. So, some clients really question that and make, obviously you have client requests, you have other work to do, but to grow your business and make sure that you not only grow your firm, you also want to cater for those existing clients. So making sure that it is a primary, daily to do thing is, making sure that that really is a primary focus. So as I said, an online presence, it is a key and crucial thing to not only growing your business, but maintaining the clients that you have. We live in such a fast-paced society where everybody wants, the information in a drop of a hat. So making sure that you're on, a various amounts of platforms is really the key to growing your business and maintaining it as well. So having a mobile friendly platform and making sure that, clients can access that information regardless of where they are, if that's on the bus heading to work or if that's just generally in the office doing a quick search at lunchtime. Making sure that they can access that information is really the key to kind of grow your business as well. So in addition to that, having a search engine optimized site is another great way to kind of boost that online presence. So a search engine optimized site, currently, referred to as SEO, is where it starts from scratch. So having those focus keywords embedded in the website that, are specific to the location and the service that you offer really is a key way to kind of boost that online presence and make sure that you can showcase those different areas when people do just a Google search for, say, a family lawyer, a criminal lawyer, or, just anything in regards to a location as well. So as I said, online presence not only needs to cater for new business and cater for new clients, it needs to make sure that you really are allowing existing clients to come back to the website and making them return. And to do that, you achieve that through website tools and add-ons. So again, that increase in traffic from your existing clients to jump onto your website to, fill in an inquiry form or to, book in an appointment with LawTap are really those key things that build that traffic and lead to better results in Google and other search engines. So as I said, website tools really are, it is a broad concept, but I want you to not think of it, just as another feature, but think of it as a way to provide an interactive experience for clients. So whether that's the online booking system, if that's a payment portal, or if that's sharing documents with your clients, the more you can get clients to jump onto your website to do things like that, the more likely you are to boost yourself within those rankings on Google, which is great for achieving and bringing in new clients. So LawTap is one of our partner add-ons, and Seamus will discuss this with you a little bit further, just after me. And essentially what it is an online appointment booking system. And the way that Zaliet can interact that and, achieve that and add that to your website is just by having a button. Now, a button can sound simple, but it can achieve a lot. And so by simply clicking on that, you will be taken to Intimate Profile, and the clients will be able to select a location or a meeting format. So whether that's a 15-minute free consultation for new clients, or if that's an hourly appointment for existing clients, it really does cater and bring clients back to your website and bring that 24/7 specialization to it. So Law Connect is a secure online document system. So you have to think of it, it's quite similar to Dropbox in that it was made for lawyers and their clients, and it provides that secure way to share those important documents that you don't always want other people to view. So you can push clients onto your website, get them to sign into their free account, and they'll be able to see any documents that you've shared with them and vice versa. You can also do things like make comments. You can rescind access if it's no longer the most viable document that you've shared with them if you have an updated version. It's just a great way to have that communication with your clients, not only through an email, but through an online portal that is really secure. So instruct or instruction forms are another great way to just cut down on that admin time that, everybody wastes, whether that's, getting that initial information from new clients. So if that's a date of birth or if that's a location, say an email address or something like that, clients can be directed to your website, fill out all of that information, and then press submit so that when you have a sit-down meeting with them, you have all of that information in front of you. So it's just a way to really streamline your process. So, whether that's a new client, as I mentioned, or if that's somebody going through, making a will, you can direct them to your website, and that increase in traffic will really help boost, again, just those SEO rankings. So it's a great way to achieve those new clients as well. So a payment portal, anybody can say it's useful for you and it's useful for your clients. It's a way to accept those online payments through your website. So again, it's the traffic aspect, but it also cuts down on that tedious, annoying task at the end of, once a matter is closed, of making sure that clients can pay that bill. So it's a great integration with Leap as well. When you create an invoice from a matter, the reference number will be generated in the bottom left-hand corner. So you can simply direct clients to the website, to the Pay Your Legal Bill page. They can enter that reference number, add in their payment methods, and it will create an automatic invoice. So again, it just saves that admin time for yourself and for the client as well. So we really have, Zaliet prides himself on making sure that we really, we know our stuff. We build websites for lawyers and conveyancers. So we know what they need to succeed in an online platform. So making sure that the areas of practice are noticeable on the homepage, having that contact information, and making sure that we input those keywords that are specific to the client itself. So as I said, the location and the service helps boost. If somebody does a search for that, you will show up in Google. But again, it's that updating and making sure that you just have, everything that a client needs on your website. So why choose Zaliet? We've been around for about 8 years now. So we really, as I said, we know what our clients need to boost that online presence and to succeed in an online platform. We specialize in websites for lawyers and conveyancers. So we understand that sometimes it's tricky. You don't always understand how something may work or how best to kind of describe it. So we do have an excellent customer support service, whether that's having an initial conversation with me where we can go through the brief together. I can give you some ideas about design styles and layouts, or if that's, further down the track, if you have some questions about how to amend the website, our team are definitely, we're on call. We're more than happy to, answer your questions through emails or through calls, and we'll definitely be able to help you out. So we all know that starting up a firm or just simply doing a rebrand of a firm or a company is quite a tedious task. And you want to make sure that you have some good ways to represent who your firm is to the clients that you want to represent. So one great way of achieving that is through our additional service, which is a custom logo design. So you want to make sure that that rebranding of your firm represents who you are as a company and what you can offer them. So we do have 2 different plans. We have one where you will receive your logo that you can implement on whatever platforms you may like. And then we also have the premium one, which will help you out with business cards and letterheads and stationery. So it's just that above and beyond factor, which is great for new startups as well. We also offer a custom content library. So it's a digital content library where clients can go in, have a look at all the common areas of law, and you're able to amend it and personalize the content so that it sounds a little bit more like yourselves. So if you're interested in some of the things I've discussed today, feel free to jump onto Zaliet.com and you'll be able to review some of our most recent websites as well as find our contact information, and we'll be more than happy to help you out. Thanks, Brid.
Thank you, Alice. It is incredible how sophisticated small law firms' websites have become in the past few years, and how you can really see how a good online presence will give your firm a competitive advantage. It is also true that modern clients and modern consumers expect more from their service providers, so their lawyers, than ever before. Seamus, this is definitely your area of expertise. So can you tell us, in your experience, how law firms are increasing business?
Certainly. Thanks, Brid, and all attendees. As introduced, I'm Seamus, and I'd like to share 5 practical tips to grow your law firm. First, your new product. It may sound funny, but the key thing is that you and your legal services are the product. This is especially true for solo and smaller firms. And when you understand that you are the product, you can then think about who your ideal client is and how to attract them to your legal services. The better you can describe and market your legal services, the better you can also avoid poorly suited clients and the very real risk of competing on price alone. As Jake and Alice both highlighted, the majority of consumers, and most likely your ideal clients, research legal services online. Having processed hundreds of appointments each week with LawTap and having sold hundreds of millions of dollars of products online, it is also important to remember that these potential clients are increasingly researching on their smartphones and mobile devices. This means that you need to describe and communicate your legal services in a much smaller screen real estate than you may be familiar with. When thinking about yourself and your legal services as products, you also need to carefully think about product merchandising, similar to the packaging and merchandising of your favorite product today. I look at a lot of websites and I found a recent example of a message for new clients that's on screen now. This message may look perfectly reasonable to us as lawyers, but is confusing for potential clients. Number 2, your real business. So you have your real product, but you also have a real business. So the key takeaway is your small firm is a small business, and hopefully in time, your small law firm will grow into a big law firm and a big business as well. So this means you need to treat it as such. And by treating it as a business, it means setting aside a budget for your new business initiatives and marketing, even if it is only small to start. You're setting aside the budget, but also taking the time each month or each quarter to set a marketing calendar that sets the monthly theme and goal that you're hoping to achieve from the budget that you've invested in your new business initiatives and marketing. So say, for example, you might look at family law in January, and you might be hoping to get 10 new separation and divorce clients to capitalize on the post-Christmas New Year separation and divorce boom. Remembering that you've got the budget and you've set aside a calendar. But as solo and small law firms, you can only have a certain amount of bandwidth. And in my experience, you are really limited to running no more than 5 initiatives per month or at any given time. But also, you've set aside the budget, you've set the themes in your calendar, and you're running up to 5 initiatives per month. But the key thing is to track, because month on month, you may decide to change the way that you are investing your marketing and new business initiatives budget. The way to do that is by measuring the return on investment for each initiative. And whether you do that in your practice management system, LEAP, or in a manual spreadsheet each month, it's important to note down how you are tracking those clients, how they've come to you, how much it has cost to acquire that new client, and how much value have they added to you. Also, making sure that they are your ideal client. Now, as Alice said, your website should serve as the 24/7 foundation and destination for your clients, whether they're new or existing. What I'd like to share now is 7 proven new business initiatives that I've found work for solo and small law firms. First, paid digital marketing. So Google AdWords, Facebook ads, I assume that most of you have seen, you may have interacted with them in the past. And both Google and Facebook, with their paid digital marketing, very quickly effective. So if you're looking, if you're in family law, if you're in criminal and traffic, if you're in wills and estates, those common practice areas, and you're defined by a specific geography, so certain suburbs, it can work very well and deliver very quick results. But it's not necessarily the most cost effective, particularly in competitive markets, because paid digital marketing runs off at, if you imagine an auction type bidding system, where if there's more competition in the market, you'll be bidding against each other to be in the highest position to attract the eyeballs of that potential new client. Flyer drops. Flyer drops may sound a bit old school, but they are low cost, and I still see them working very well in small geographic areas for the common practice areas. Local clubs. So as Jake pointed out, with building up those referrals and becoming the expert, I've also seen firsthand offering to speak or sponsoring local meetups, sports clubs, Chamber of Commerce can be an effective way to attract those ideal clients. Cold calls, and it may sound very unpleasant for the prospect of that you might spend a certain time each month having to cold call potential clients. But if you're targeting small businesses, that is generally going to be one of the things that you'll need to do to attract that new business. The suggestion I'd add is do your research, and say, for example, LinkedIn is a great tool to do your research on small to medium-sized businesses. Add value, but never apologize, because you're a small business too, and as long as you're adding value, that's the main thing. Weekly coffees. So whether it's coffee or another beverage of your preference, setting that weekly target, whether it's 1, 2, or 3 coffees a week to start off with your new and existing clients or referral sources. It helps to build good relationships, but it also, with how fast-paced we are today, keeps you top of mind with those that are either have given you work and may have future work for you, or those that are referring work to you. With Law Society and Law Institute referrals, that are available as a paid service in many states and territories in Australia, they're usually low quality new client leads because they haven't really been qualified or only qualified at a very high level. But there are and can be some diamonds in the rough. Jake mentioned about being a subject matter expert. And I know a lawyer that a few years ago came across or had a client that wanted him to draft and negotiate a contract between an Australian and German business in the automotive industry. And, by having done that contract, then published a blog article about it. That article now drives most of their work, and it's coming from CFOs and in-house legal counsel searching for help on this niche topic. And it's delivered a constant stream of work. Tip 4, building your database. And we've spoken about some new business initiatives, which are great. But what underpins the most successful law firms? It's high quality, constant referrals. In my experience in both legal and accounting professional services firms, that referral relationship is the most important thing that will drive long-term growth. But it does take time and patience. In my experience, the best relationships have taken 2 or 3 years to start delivering a constant stream of very valuable work. But when you're also thinking about starting a new business, if you're someone like me, you're thinking about the end goal as well. And it's not just about building that database to upsell and cross-sell legal services, but the database as IP is really the most valuable asset of most professional services firms today. When you grow your database and grow those referrers, it's important to keep in touch. And obviously, Zaliet can help you out with custom content, and that's great. But say, for example, it may be just sending out a regular email when there's relevant a news article that you see, and sending out that to your clients and or referrers. It's just another touch to keep building that relationship. My 5th and final tip, converting more potentials. Because if you're investing in sending more traffic to your website, doing flyer drops, local clubs, weekly coffees, it's how do you convert more of those potential ideal clients into ideal clients. And with LawTap, as the booking management system for lawyers, we do that in 2 ways and help you grow your firm in 2 ways, by offering verified reviews, but also convenience. And when you think about your potential clients researching today, they're also booking today, but they're booking outside of working hours. So having LawTap available can greatly assist your firm. Thank you very much, and over to you, Brid.
Thank you, Seamus. There are some really smart initiatives, so thank you for sharing that with all of our attendees and us today. I'm sure many of our attendees will be implementing some of these. I particularly like the coffees KPI. I think I could manage that one. I have asked our 4th panelist here, Anna Wareham from Perfect Portal, to tell us what you see, Anna, in the market and how Perfect Portal is helping law firms win new business.
Thanks, Reid. So I guess the first question is, what is Perfect Portal? And how does it fit, obviously, into the broad spectrum of business development? So Perfect Portal is a unique platform which allows any firm who handles property work to generate leads and communicate more effectively with all parties involved in a matter. 51% of prospective clients proceed with the first quote that they receive. With Perfect Portal, quotes can be generated privately through your office, through your referral network, or through your website. When a prospective client calls directly through the firm, you and your staff can easily generate a quote through Perfect Portal whilst they are still on the phone. So Alice from Zaliet has already spoken about the importance of having a good website. Perfect Portal engages your web traffic by creating a quote calculator on your website, which empowers a prospective client to generate a fee estimate at any time of the day or night. So this ensures that your business is working for you even outside office hours. Your office is alerted as soon as a prospective client generates a quote, so you can contact them as soon as possible and convert them into an actual client. Your trusted referral network, which could be agents, mortgage brokers, accountants, financial planners, they can all pass a lead through to your firm via their individual portal, which you are notified of instantly via email. The process is so simple that they can do it on their phones while out and about, or even at an open home with their iPad. So whether a quote is generated through your website, through your referrer network, or privately, these are all captured within Perfect Portal. They can be tailored with different fee scales and disbursements, as well as calculating stamp duty for a client. Your prospective client will receive a branded email with the quote attached via PDF. They're going to have a very professional, but also personalised view of your firm, whichever way they receive this quote. So it's one thing to actually generate the quote, but it's another thing to actually manage this quote. Managing the quote ensures that no prospective client falls through the cracks. You are able to enter notes after a first conversation with a client, or perhaps even set a reminder to contact the agent for a copy of the contract. This in turn means that anybody picking up this matter knows exactly what you have quoted and any relevant information pertaining to this client. You are able to track any quotes that have been declined and the specific reason as to why, which obviously assists the firm in having a more targeted marketing approach. By accepting a quote, this then converts into a matter within Perfect Portal. It's important to note that this doesn't replace any practice management software. It actually just works hand in hand with Leap. So you can enter contact details of relevant parties and still create notes or track activities such as phone calls that have been made. But once you're ready to bring the matter into Leap, all you have to do is click on Create Matter in Leap. So the absolute beauty of this integration means that any information contained in Perfect Portal, including all contacts, automatically transfers into the newly created matter in Leap. Therefore, there's no double data of entry. This also includes any quote or notes and individually saves this into the correspondence tab in your Leap matter with the date it was created in Perfect Portal. Being able to communicate effectively with all parties involved in a matter is vital to building and maintaining business relationships as well as those relationships with your clients. Perfect Portal enables you to do this via the key stage buttons in your Leap matter. These customizable key stages are preset by your firm and are sent out to all relevant parties that you want to keep up to date at a click of a button. Your parties will receive a personalised, branded email outlining the key stage which has been completed, ensuring that one, you never forget to update a party again, and secondly, all those chasing calls and emails to your office will be significantly reduced. By sending out regular updates to parties, this is going to give you a competitive edge in the market and opens your firm to new opportunities with potential referral partners. Your current referrers who have generated leads through the portal will also be able to track any matter they have with your firm, which will only strengthen your relationship with your current network. You also have the option to give your client visibility of the process within their own login, your brand, your portal. So as Seamus alluded to earlier with LawTap, being able to track your ROI is so important. You can do this with the dashboard within Perfect Portal. Being able to view the overall analytics of the firm will only assist in you taking your firm to the next level. This dashboard in Perfect Portal can be set by different date ranges and will give you very specific information as to how much work is sitting in the pipeline, specifically for private, website, or even referred work, even to who your best referrer is or whether a marketing campaign was successful. Being able to track trends over a period of time will assist with future investment, marketing, and the direction of the firm. So overall, Perfect Portal is designed to make your firm stand out from the crowd by providing this unique platform. Being able to generate quotes from multiple sources, manage those quotes and those leads coming through, building your referral network and communicating more effectively with all parties is certainly going to give you a competitive edge and ensure that your business development is right on point. Over to you, Brid.
Thank you, Anna. I like it. That is smart technology right there. Now, do we have any questions from any of the panelists? I can see some questions coming in. So, Jake, I might get you to select some of the good questions from here, if you don't mind.
Thanks, Brid. Yeah, I have been sifting through them, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick one question for each of the three other panelists here today. And I'm going to start with a question for Seamus. So, someone obviously in your discussion, you gave a range for a digital budget of between $500 to $2,000, but this client wants to know, how do they choose how much is too much and when is it going to be towards that upper end? Are there any factors that are going to influence that decision for them?
Certainly. And the answer is it depends. And it depends because the way that, say, Google AdWords and Facebook ads both work is based on, as I've said, the auction bidding system. And when starting your firm, as opposed to bidding on, say, Sydney family lawyers or Sydney personal injury lawyers, which can cost up to, the cost of getting a new lead, not even a new client, but a new lead might be upwards of $1,000. Focusing on your local geographic area or certain suburbs to begin with can be a much more cost-effective way. So say, for example, focusing on certain suburbs and certain areas of law to start off with, and that may see you, that way you can start to put in, say, the $500, see where it gets you, make adjustments as needed to make sure that you're getting the best ROI that you possibly can from paid digital marketing.
Fantastic. Thanks, Seamus. I really liked how you started that. It depends. I think that does sum it up, though. You've got to be flexible when you're trying to make these decisions. And I guess that ties back into tracking them and seeing what's working. Look, the second question is going to be directed to Alice. Now, this question relates to website traffic, and once you've got your website up and running, how you can start increasing traffic flow to your website.
Yeah, sure thing. So really it's a combination of things to get that traffic. As I said before in my section, you really want to make sure that you start from the basics and have those focus keywords in the website, really relevant to the areas that you specialize in and your location as well. There are obviously other things you can do that are really beneficial. So there are free services such as the Google My Business account, which will allow you to showcase your open hours that will link to your office location, as well as your website. It's a great way for clients to be able to see your location as well as your website. Also, updating the amount of information on your website and just having that little bit extra every now and again is a really great way to boost your sales and to boost your rankings within Google, because they really do reward the information that you add onto this site. So if you leave a website static for a year, you're obviously not going to make any kind of boost to your rankings within search engines such as Google. But if you have a blog post or just a little updates post that you do every 2 weeks, it's a really great way of adding that extra information and boosting your relevance within just the online section in general. So having those amendments, having the add-ons as well that I discussed before, and those little extra features will really boost your traffic to the site, which in turn will give you better results in Google.
Fantastic. That's a great answer, Alice. Thank you so much for that. I guess what I take away from that is that unfortunately there's no easy answer. It's sort of an organic thing that you need to continually work on, but obviously the rewards will be there if you do that. Now, this last question is directed to Anna, and I do apologize, Anna, it's a bit of a loaded question. I'm actually quite excited to see what you have to say here. But someone has asked what sort of success that your clients have had with Perfect Portal, whether or not it's actually available for other areas of law and not just property, and finally, the $1 million question, what does it cost? So I'm going to hand over to you to hear what you have to say.
Thanks, Jake. I guess we'll start with the first one. How much success has our clients already had? So top of mind, I guess we've got 2 clients that come to mind. We have Nicole from Oswide Conveyancing. She's a conveyancer in Kellyville. She's now getting 10 leads a week through her quote calculator. So that's a great start there. KCH Lawyers in Queensland, which is a all servicing law firm. They are basically doubling the amount of quotes they're getting through and tripling their conversion rate since this time last year. So another great start there as well. In terms of is it available for other areas of law? Another good question. Thank you for the loaded one. This has come up before, and we will actually have other matter types available from January 2018. So what we're having is a lot of our law firms who do other areas of law, starting off with their property department, implementing Perfect Portal, getting used to it, and then come January 2018, we'll obviously be able to do any other areas of law as well and customize their own matter types. $1 million question, like you said. So based on those stats, this should be quite minimal. We have 2 models of pricing. So a single user or a sole practitioner firm will be paying $200 a month, and for a multi-user firm, they'll be paying $400 a month.
Wow, that sounds like pretty good value for me. Look, that's everything I wanted to go through today. There's obviously been a lot of other questions that have come through, but we will get through them and send out a copy, as Brid mentioned beforehand. I'm now just going to hand back over to Brid to wrap things up today.
Thank you, team. That is all we have time for today. We've come to the end of this webinar. I'm very happy to announce, however, that we're able to give a copy of the book Jake referred to earlier on, Business Development, How to Win Profitable Customers and Clients, to any attendee here today who is not a Leap user but books a demo of Leap, or to any current Leap clients who request a copy of the book. As we explained earlier on, I think there's a lot of value in this book, and we would like to pass that on to our clients as well. If you would like further information from any of this afternoon's panelists, their contact details are displayed on the screen for you now. And as with all Leap webinars, this webinar will be made available on our webinar playlist in the next few days. If you're a current Leap client, you can also access the previous Leap webinars in Leap communities. This means you can rewatch, you can come back to it later, or if there's tips and tricks you picked up in today's webinar, you can hopefully share them with the rest of your firm or with colleagues. If you would like to book a demonstration of Leap, you can email sales@leap.com.au, or you can call me on 0409 820 944, and my email address is also displayed on the screen if you have any questions or would like to request a copy of the book. Thank you to all of our panelists for joining us today. That was a really informative session, and thanks to you attendees for joining us for this webinar. Have a great afternoon, everyone.